Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers. Welcome to another edition of Very Sky Rita video blog. I'm only gonna give you guys a short update. I spent most of the morning. Last night I gamed, and then after I gamed, I waited for the doctor, and because I was ahead of the doctor, I decided I had a doctor's appointment this morning, as I said to you all. Then I decided, while I was having my doctor's appointment, in between to catch up on the videos Pee Wee gave me to watch. Some of them are interesting things I've seen already, so I just went and deleted them. Then there's the other things. Look, the problem is I'm not going to even focus on politics anymore, all right? Because it doesn't pay. It doesn't pay. All I hear is Hilljack, son of a bitch, is basically trying to push their own opinions. And I'm tired of it. I'm literally tired of it from all fronts, okay? I could give two shits, okay? Today I got into an argument with my doctor. And that's, the doctor and I were talking about how it had to do with politics. Apparently she's very political and she's Catholic, but that's beside the point. That's beside not the point, I should say. Anyways, the supply and demand is pretty high, as all you know. So, to make this short, I want to talk about a few things. So, today I got another shipment of mac and cheese in. Single boxes, not double boxes. So, I ordered a stack of mac and cheese. I'm missing mac and cheese. Basically, I'm missing a case of mac and cheese. It went missing. Amazon refuses to fix it. They're like, well, it was delivered. Really? The camera delivered things too? We put it this way. We had a container that was semi-resealed. Now, before you say, oh, well, what was in it? It was Chloe's package. People are stealing. Chloe opened the bag up, right? They literally seal these completely up, right? They seal these pretty good, right? Seal was completely removed, and 2/3 of the bag was empty for 3.5-pound bag food. We had to call it in, and they said, oh, sometimes it happens. Really, how does it happen that our box is tampered with and our food's been pilfered because it's dog food? I mean, literally. So I complained to Amazon, and Amazon's like, there's a wait time of 6 hours to be heard. It's because, see, with me, I complained about another 2 boxes being completely crushed, basically. The mac and cheese boxes are sitting, and one case is missing. Well, what they say, oh, well, you shouldn't do it. So I complained to the right people, and they're basically getting on it, saying that they want to strip Amazon of their food stamp entitlement program, where they're entitled to collect food stamps or stuff. Apparently, the problem is they're basically they're claiming that it's a shipping issue. They're claiming it's purely a shipping issue. That's what they're claiming. They're claiming it's purely a shipping issue. I, for one, don't care what it is, as long as it doesn't affect me. I, on the other hand, have been trying to get things moving along. Sorry about this. No, I'm not doing a dip this morning. That's not dip time. Last night I was thinking about one, but I decided to go to sleep. So, let me tell you the story what's going on here, okay? We got 2 problems accumulating, too. One is the economy, right? People are sitting there saying, oh, well. See, I did some research, okay? Walmart, see, the thing is people are stockpiling, right? The red states are stockpiling, the blue states aren't. The blue states, their warehouses for like Walmart and Target are completely filled, so there's no pallets laying all over the room. So basically what they're doing is the warehouses are basically distribution warehouses, basically getting an order and preparing it and sending it out with the available people that are actually working, whereas the red states are crippling the economy basically due to the fact that I had a dream last night. A vision. God showed me the vision this morning. It was a vision within a vision, basically. Two visions in one, which is very rare, but it has a meaning. So, it goes like this. Before someone says I'm translating it wrong, let me tell you what the vision was. I was on a vehicle. And this vehicle is supposed to load itself up like half boat. It was like a car boat combo. So I was on that, but apparently, as I was approaching, to go with my suitcase, it's called a carry-on, all of a sudden, everything inside it got wet and it was submerged, and finally I got from the water to the ferry boat or the ship I was on. And yet at the same time, that tells you right there that, and I was underwater. I was literally underwater. And the reason I was underwater is because of the ship is sinking. But it's sinking for everyone around us. And yet people are saying, oh, well, if the ship's sinking, that means the ship stayed sinking. Therefore, it means that we're going to have a severe pandemic. No, it doesn't. What it means is basically everything we own or I own, I think it has to do with us own. Everything you buy to stockpile is going to sink you. You're not going to have anything for anyone, literally. And the other thing I think it has to do with is the expiration dates. Again, the mac and cheese expires in August, okay? That's the thing. Amazon is sending 2-month almost expired mac and cheese. They're cleaning out their warehouses. Are they doing it on purpose? I think so. And that's one of the things I want to talk about, supply and demand. If the demand's high, I mean, literally, Chloe was out the other day, and people say, oh, well, Chloe must be full of shit because she went to the store and it was fully stocked. That's the thing. She's been everywhere. When I'm sleeping in the daytime, she's doing recon work. She comes and says, hey, here's your newspaper. Oh, by the way, here's your information on, I mean, literally, look. I mean, if they want to control the population, they're not doing a good job. Okay, people are basically sitting there. And now the news ain't talking about inflation. They're not talking about anything for the next 6 weeks, right? I mean, literally, it is what it is. Okay, so look at it from a big point of view. The country, it'll rebound. All right. The thing is it'll rebound. It's Tuesday, so we got 10 days left. I think it is 10 days till payday, right? Fortunately, is it 10 days? Yeah, I think it's like 10 days or something. Yeah. So anyways, I was checking something anyways real quick, but And because I'm making this video short, I know Gabby last night messaged or, left comment like, oh, I missed your video. Well, you snooze, you lose. I'm not going to spend all day, but I want you to check your contents for everything you buy, because either the box is smashed, the the bag is 2/3 empty. I mean, literally. I mean, Chloe brought it in. Chloe brought it out. She put it down. It wasn't even open, and the entire bag. I looked and I said, "Look, it isn't even sealed." She says they're supposed to be, and then when she looked at it, it was 2/3 empty. So they're giving, instead of 3.5 pounds, she weighed it to about 5 pounds of dog food sitting in this container of a 3.5. I mean, they're literally trying to basically sell you air, apparently, because that's all that So I was gonna share that with you. I was like, oh, I know what I was gonna do. And this place always is, I keep getting this email from this. I keep wondering about something actually. So I get these emails right about emergency food all the time, right? But I haven't checked on supply and demand. So they're offering food in the can, apparently a 10 number 10. They call it a number 10, which is basically what they say is a number 10. Let me look this up real quick. So it's a number 10 can. Let me see. Okay, is this what it is? Yeah. So basically, if you go over to, damn it. Look, I don't give two shits, and I ain't giving you my phone number. See, this is what pisses me off, everyone. I can't even freaking do anything. The other day, I was minding my own business, and I basically said to myself, I don't like the phone. The Google phone is getting to the point where it's just useless. People say, oh, well, what's wrong with the Google phone? The Google phone, the tablets, they basically open up a lot of videos. It's like you can't get out of these commercials. They're basically saying, well, if you want to view this website, you must watch a video with me. I disable all that through my ad blockers and stuff. you know so 6 cans is almost $200. I'm just looking for pricing for you. So basically they got a food kit. So they got a 1 month emergency food kit, which is all breakfast in a bucket. 1 month is $560. Yeah, well, I don't, sorry, but a water filtration, 3 months. And the thing is they're selling these food in a bucket. The problem is the food in the bucket is these pouches, which you still got to prepare, which they don't make it easy. So to me, it's good to figure it out. But no, people say, oh well, what about your, you know. And so basically, first of all, I want to say welcome whoever's here today. Two is I'm not going to be here long because I'm not feeling too well. I'm clogged up in the nose. Seems Chloe took the last of my Dayquil, which means I don't have any. And I'm completely and thoroughly not feeling well today again. And I'm not taking NyQuil because, So technically, the little container here is empty. See? And that $10. Damn. Do they even? Wow. Anyways, $10 for that bar. So they can't even do it. Anyways, we'll skip it. Oh, I figured it out. So $10. Okay. So I talked to my doctor today. My doctor has said, or at least in our state, they've changed over to getting American-made products. Basically, they've cut China out completely so they can start having the flow of American products coming to us in the form of medical equipment. When I asked about ambulance repairs. She says, yeah, they're basically having problems with the ambulances. It's mostly simple fixes, but Detroit laid off people. Apparently, Detroit was the first to lay off people. So, the doctor who's a Republican, Catholic, great lady, by the way, very nice. We talked politics today for a few minutes. She said, and before someone sits there and says, oh, this, and this, she said, ready for this? They're trying to population control. She literally let me have, she was on her private phone. So I was having a private conversation while talking because couldn't get a hold of video. Apparently there's a video problem, right? So she's on a private phone. So I said, so are you literally going to be cutting out the transgender health care? And she says, I'm fighting it tooth and nail. Right now, we don't need it. Population control is what they're trying to do around the country. She says, you go to stores, some stores are filled, others aren't. And before you sit there and say, oh, well, my grocery store is the warehouse or, whatever, let me just reiterate this. This doctor knows her stuff. She's been a doctor for 40 years. She said it's population control. Why they're doing the ambulances and the fire truck parts? Simple. Let me tell you what's going on, okay? From what I understand, talking to a couple of doctors today and nurses and etc., they're doing population control. And on top of that, they're doing something so dastardly you couldn't even understand it, which this woman here will tell you, is they're trying to destroy the country within, and they're succeeding. I mean, think of it from this point of view. You're getting your food cut in half. I mean, think of Moppy's dog food, for example, people. I mean, literally look at the big picture. The dog food. I mean, I don't have to go over and over and over, but the bag was 2/3 empty. 2/3 empty for a dog bag this size. 2/3. And now it says, okay, hold on. Mars. So the chocolate bars company owns Mars. Hold on. I got a bad feeling about this. Oh, here we go. Made in the USA with the finest ingredients. Okay, so I was wrong there. At least my dog food's made in America for the price you're paying. And instead of being $3, they're now charging $8, by the way. $8 to $11 minimum. So think about that. $8 to $11 minimum, people. Now, can we get to the brass tacks again? Because I don't want to be here all day. I got to get back to my game, okay? So basically, the doctor said they're changing their to U.S. suppliers. But even if they get U.S. suppliers for medical, which is confirmed by her, most companies are, because they can't trust China. I mean, they used to rely on China when shipments were coming in, but with China being under lockdown mode, China is literally crippling the country. So other countries are basically bringing back the old ways of making things in this country. So some of the manufacturing is going to be coming back to our country. Unfortunately, even so, she said that these problems are going to happen for the next couple of years until either a Republican president or they'll continue doing it until Americans have enough. Americans have enough and vote out Democrats forever. She said it's basically a power play. She basically is a Republican herself who basically said it's power play. She says you can't let it get to you, So when I asked her, are you prepping? She said, no, I'm not a fucking idiot prepper. She says, she talked about her dog food going up in price. Then on top of that, she talked about dog food getting up in price. And so to me, um, we talked about, the ins and outs, ambulances, the picking parts and pulling parts and going to junkyards, pulling other parts. Junkyards are going to be eventually, she said, will be stripped. They're going to strip every usable part that they can and jack the price up on junkyard soon, which is probably about right. That would cut down on it, leaving just the frames, oh, hello, Zoe. I don't know. How was your gaming last night? Hit the like. So, anyways, I don't know. I'm glad you're having pizza. I really am. I, on the other hand, wanted to say that, people can prep all they want. The problem is the doctor said, and she and I had a nice chat. It was a long chat because, it was like, I haven't talked to her in a while. But she's been like a mother to me over the years anyway. So, besides just giving me my two prescriptions there, and another, or three, she also is, saying that if a Catholic hospital is still choosing to go Chinese-based stuff, then that's the real problem with healthcare. They shouldn't even be in business, But on the bottom line is, she said, look, stockpile is not going to do it. If you stockpile, and this is where people is getting it wrong, she said, if you stockpile, then she said what's going to happen is prices are going to get worse. So, well, that's nice to know. Usually I go hungry 90% of the time because of things. I got a feeling there's a lot of things going to happen. Hold on a second. Give me a second. Move something. Hey, Mom. Come on. In here. All the tree box. I'm not going to listen to this. That's quiet. Get out. You want to get out. I'm not going to hear this basically attack. Out. Son of a bitch. You want to sit there and attack me, and when I'm trying to be polite to close the door. So Chloe and I told Chloe to get out. Literally, I'm not tolerating this crap. Reason for it is I'm not going to fucking sit here and listen to some sorry son of a bitch turn around, I have I'm very angry, the son of a bitch will not freaking, they gotta quit, I mean, literally, the son of a bitch needs to basically pack up, otherwise they gotta quit fucking talking about politics. Problem is they have, that's all they want to talk about. We're gonna be under a dictator, we're gonna be under, you know what? I'm gonna say something that I'm not going to like, okay? Basically, Chloe wants to attack and go on and on and on about fucking President Trump. I don't give a shit about Trump. Okay, I don't want to hear it. What we're here to talk about is nothing to do with politics. But as I was saying, is that's the thing. She wants it her way. She can get the fuck out. I'm not going to listen to some sack of shit tell me all about Trump and Trump. If she wants to call me a hipster, fine. Then, if you're watching this, Chloe, get out. I want you out, and that's it. You can go get help in the mental hospital because you want fucking your way of the highway and this ain't Burger King. So, sorry about that, people. Now, we have a problem on our hand that's not far bad. Yeah, Chloe wants to, Yeah, well, Viola's Chloe, okay? Viola is Chloe, and Chloe is going to be removed as moderator and banned permanently if they keep acting up. That's the thing. She was basically calling us a bunch of hicksters. I'm going to basically see, I can put you in timeout for 5 minutes. You see? Basically, she doesn't want to hear it, so she's going borderline ape and attacking me on my own channel. Sorry about this, peeps. Basically, you got to look at the food supply right now for dog food, for example. If they're cutting out 2/3 or someone's breaking into the box and stealing stuff, there's a problem. Today's temperature is 60 degrees. See, I had to time her out, If you log off, I'm going to be logging off. So to me, look, you're not the problem tonight. Chloe is. Chloe's borderline. She's attacking me. She's attacking me because I won't give her the benefit of the doubt to talk about Trump. See, she hates Trump. She had the U.S. Secret Service on her door because she hates Trump that bad. And the point is, I'm not tolerating it. I went in to close the door. She's like, oh, yeah, I even looked it up just a few minutes ago, Zoe. There's nothing. Zip, zap, zilch. So I was going to basically do a check on pricing, the thing is I want... Chloe won't behave. That's the thing. She won't behave. She will never behave. Okay, so... Okay, so apparently... So I'm looking at pricing real quick. I do this every day for you all to see if anything's changed. More likely, the only thing that's changed is something else, my husband used to go to the park with me, They had these little... Oh, damn. So apparently that went up $20 again. See, this is why you have me to look up these prices, because they're just going through the roof. And yet, as the doctor said, let's just get back to it, that as long as we keep paying these prices, they're going to keep raising the prices. As long as people are so panicked, she says it's a lie, basically. Now, China basically delaying things, yeah, that opens our eyes to opening up new avenues. And those avenues are other issues, Oh, yeah, like I was talking about pricing already. Well, the farmers market's here soon too, Anyways, I'm trying to get everything lined up so I can actually get out of here on a good time. Let's see. All right. So I'm looking for this. So apparently it's okay. So that went up $4. Hold on, I'm looking at availability. Remember I live on ramen, so this here says look at this, eligible for food stamps, right? Eligible for food stamps. I gotta see this for a second because I find this to be interesting. Okay, so Amazon decided to raise their price on a case of ramen, $8 a case. This one's $9 a case, depending on what flavor you want. This one is cheaper, but the delivery is July 29th for delivery. No. say they can't get it in, so everyone's waiting for that. Yeah. Okay, so if you look at the July thing, another one's I was told September for one order. I mean, literally what they're doing is they're screwing people over. You know. So we've looked at ramen, we've looked at I'm trying to do pricing, and you got to remember, like I said, if you're going to sit here and that's why you cut dairy and meat out if you can. Unfortunately, the problem is people don't take too kindly to the pricing, so they're turning around and doing something else. Okay, so I'm checking on a few things on Amazon, canned meats that I like. Apparently, currently canned meats that I like sold out. That's why. Come on, just no. I want this. There. All right, let's just do it this way, high to low. That. There. All right, so let's see here. Let's see. That's expensive. Spammer. No, I call it the spammers. The scalpers, the scalping spammers. The scalpers are spamming people by trying to rip them off. So I'm not talking about canned meat in general. I'm talking about the scalpers. So currently, price went up. That one went up $15. This one went up $30. Before you sit there and say, "Oh yeah, well that's," before you sit there and basically complain about it, I'm actually telling you what it's going for. And all these places, by the way, talking about pricing, right? You sit there and you say, "Oh well, I don't mind." They basically are taking your canned food meats. I want to share something with you that me and the doctor were talking about today. We were actually having a serious conversation about food. And I thought the serious conversation with food would actually be a serious conversation as well. Look, that's nothing. There's preppers out there that say you're gonna die if you don't have 6 months. Why do you think Pee Wee was basically panicked the other day? Didn't you see Sister Pee Wee the other day? Zoe? She sent me an email basically stating to survive, a person needs at least 6 months. Yeah, if you live on one can of food a day, you can last 6 months. I mean, literally. That's the problem. You see? Calm down, that's why one thing is I changed the tune. No, you're not even prepping. You're prepping for an emergency, a 1 month disaster where power goes out and stuff like that. That's it. Prepping is the long-term effect of what happens when your last can of food goes out. You're going to go out in public looking for food. I mean, literally. The problem is there's prepping for the wrong reasons. That's the thing. Here, these people, right? They're like, "Oh yeah, we need to look." Think of it this way: there's two types of people, Zoe. I want to explain this to you. Matter of fact, I was hoping. Give me a second, would you? Bathroom break. So, So, anyways, let me tell you guys a story. I might do a dip after all, but only one because I got to get going eventually, okay? The doctor and I had a serious conversation last night. Serious conversation with my phone. Over there, great. So I emailed Dad. You guys know Dad's got his dinner, right? Today's Tuesday. So last night he turns around. Last night Dad turns around, right? And he's all excited. He's gonna go to dinner finally. You know, my treat, right? So I'm taking him dinner. I'm still looking at meats, by the way. That's what I was looking at. Anyways, I want to share with you something that's very important to me. Now, you guys sit there and say, oh, well, you know, let me put it to you this way, okay? If you have food stamps, and some people don't, people sit there and say, well, I preach food stamp. No, I don't. I'm trying to help the food stamp people prep too. What, I'm supposed to just throw them all under the bus? So basically, one of the things I want to share with you all is a little tip. All right? And that is, oh, great. So apparently the thing keeps logging me out. I hate this. Just go to what I want. Look, my address is not Seattle, you son of a bitch. My address is this. Change the delivery location, you wankers. Yeah. My warehouse is not Seattle, you son of a bitch. My zip code is where I live. Alright, at least we're gonna. So Chloe went and wrapped herself down. Let's see, I thought there was one in Mount Vernon, I thought. Bellingham, Burlington, Surrey, Langley, Richmond, Marysville. Look, isn't there one zip code of city? Fine, let's try this then. I hate when they do this. Mount Vernon. See, there's a freaking. I heard there's a Costco there. You see? So apparently they're saying I got to go 60 miles. Fine, let's just stick on Burlington then. There, nearest warehouse is Burlington. Stupid morons. Now, can we just get to what I'm doing? There. All right, because I'm looking for two things. So, as you all know, I'm checking on pricing. That stayed the same. So, you know, it's going to go up again. So, let's see. All right. So, canned meats are going out of stock, right? So, food stamps are basically people sit there and say, well, you know, well, what about food stamps? You know, if you have an EBT eligible, you can get some. But the problem is if you look at the stuff that's not EBT eligible, it means that a third party seller is selling on Amazon, for example, which means they won't take your food stamps at all. So basically, what they're saying is you want food, then you're going to have to take and cut corners because the everyday food that's been taken is gone. Yeah, I'm sorry to say, but you know what? My priceless reactions is when they're trying to choose a Costco warehouse in fucking Seattle, and I live on an island, and I hear, oh, the nearest one's Burlington, and then you go to Burlington and you find out that you got to put it in manually because they're not saying, oh, your nearest one's Burlington. Put it in a quarter, so your nearest one's at Burlington. I mean, literally, is there a freaking Costco or not? The point being is it's Burlington. Uh, I have a Costco card. Sam's Club. I hear is a membership too. I should look at Sam's Club one of these days. I hear Higgins is all over Sam's Club, but you know what? Wholesale prices. Yeah, I want to see this. This is part of Walmart, I think. Let's see. See, this is the thing. You sit there, right? And that doesn't explain what it is. You're like, Mary Sam Club memory. Yeah, okay. If Costco's charging $60, not a member, join now. Okay, see, here it is. So they don't tell you. See, so it's $45 a year. You get. All right, so basically they're forcing you to curbside pickup. So you get free curbside pickup for $45 a year. Hold on. Instant savings. See, this is something you got to look at. Sam's Club MasterCard membership, fuel savings, tire and battery center, complimentary membership, add-on membership. Sorry to say that doesn't sound this. This one here gives you let's see, you don't get free shipping. This one you get free shipping though. You get pharmacy and optical savings. The problem is what if you just want freaking see, exclusions apply. What if you don't want this? The thing is what if you just want, yeah, I want to compare the membership. All I want is freaking, look, I don't give two shits. I'm not paying $45 today. The thing is they're not giving me info. See, that's the thing. They're like, if you want this, they're basically forcing you to pay $100 for Sam's Club for shipping. I'm looking at Costco, for example. You're talking about ordering, right? Costco says the same damn thing. Excuse me for a dang second. Got to use the toilet again. This is the problem when I have coffee. It wants to basically be like prune juice in the mornings. This is what happens when I'm freaking getting old. Coffee just works fine. I don't need prune juice. Yeah, laugh it up, Zoe. Prune juice. Come on, man. This doesn't take this fucking long. I don't care. I like to know what the hell's going on. Just another error. I hate this website. Prune juice. Okay, everyone. Let me explain what the doctor said now that I feel relieved. Okay. The doctor said that coffee can be used as a look. The whole Costco thing was just something stupid, Zoe. Literally. All right. It was my attitude of why the hell am I paying, Dude, why the hell is these getting dirty so quickly? I can barely see with them. Ow. Anyways, let's just get to brass tacks for a minute, shall we? So basically, prune juice is you can drink prune juice, that'll be effective, or apple juice. They don't say, everyone says, oh, prune juice cleans your system. Early morning, drink 4 cups of coffee, that'll clean you out too. Makes the coffee sometimes is a stool softener without you knowing. Well, I think so many people like it. They sit around, and they're like, they sit around, and all of a sudden you hear something like the Zoe in Chicago going, the Zoe in Chicago going, doing the Zoe shuffle. Going, woo, gonna give me some cold cuts. Woo, gonna get me some cold cuts. Woo, gonna give me some cold cuts. Look, about China. China's already gonna squeeze for stuff, but Korea also makes, so Vietnam does, so they can always change the thing. Formula is not going to be what it is. I, on the other hand, just can't believe how much I can barely see. Can you actually see through the lenses how bad it is? Yeah, look at that. Look at it right there in the lenses. Look at that. Let me show you from the other end. See that? See how the lenses are dissolving? It's like the coating inside is basically, this one has it too, but you can barely see it, But this one you can barely see, you see? Look at that. You can clearly see right there, I think, right? You guys want me to talk about something like this. And they claim they can't fix it because the doctor refuses to get back to me. They tell me the glasses have shoddy workmanship. I mean, look at that. And you can tell right there, see? Look at that. And then if you look in the bottom here, yeah, you can see the bottom's dissolving too, just like it. But the right eye's got more of a few scratches, but the left eye is completely thoroughly being dissolved. I guess no one wants the 3 people watching, not one of them want to talk about the economics of an eye doctor. See, the eye doctor doesn't want to say his workmanship shoddy, so he doesn't, So, anyways, did you guys see that already? Anyways, basically, the doctor was telling me that the problem with the supply chain, and I want to get to this. It's very important that I get to this topic today, okay? There's 2 things. One is companies are going to try to shortchange you. I must have spent 45 minutes to an hour with her. It was like 10 minutes for the filling and 45 to an hour shooting the shit with her about politics and stuff, So let me put it to you this way. She doesn't think the U.S. is going to, she thinks the U.S. is going to fail. Plain and simple, because of Roe versus Wade. She also says there's a new type of thing coming down the pipe, and I'd like to talk about it too with our inflation problems. You see, The government is using the inflation problem, and I can see this in my vision, saying, watch the birdie here while we do something here. Watch this while we do something here. Now, before you ask Zoe what I'm talking about, it's simple. By the way, just to let you know, I don't know if you were here yesterday. You left, apparently. But Mariposa was removed and kicked out permanently. So if you want to know why, I'll gladly tell you why. But anyways, the doctor said as long as people keep buying stuff and the warehouse can't catch up, the stocks and prices is going to go through the roof. So that's something I want to share with you. Did you get your charger fixed? Because if you did, we can converse on this. Let me tell you, Mariposa is no longer around. Mariposa apparently was Joe Gill. And Mariposa was kicked out. And so because of it, we have a problem, and the problem is simple. I told Chloe to basically beat it, you know. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Someone said something to check my mailbox for another box of mac and cheese. Let's see what they're delivering 2 or 3 different things. Nope. So we got a new. So, anyways, let me just explain the whole prepping thing, okay? Basically, the doctor said, quote unquote, that certain counties and certain states, the warehouses are empty or full, depending on this. But the doctors in the medical department are now changing course and bringing in American-made products. No, remember Mariposa was that Cuban lady that was literally the Cuban lady that was talking about steak last night, and then the other night, it turns out it was Joe Gill. But anyways, we won't go to details. Remember, they came out of the woodwork, so I banned them after they were asking me about my vagina. Okay, we don't talk about my cooter on this channel. Sorry to say that's personal. I may be a woman, but I'm also dignified. I won't talk about things that are perverted. Now, Higgins took care of the problem too, you know. Higgins literally is, you know. So apparently there's too many people online. I'd like to continue my story if you don't mind. All right. So I wanted to yeah, well, yeah, it's off limits. You don't see me. Anyways, they also know how to basically try to poke me and push my buttons, you know, which reminds me it's almost 9 o'clock, so I should check in with Dad to make sure he's fine eventually. You know, it won't take but a minute to find out why he hasn't emailed me today on a Tuesday. about his dinner. I don't want to hear him basically say, "Oh well, I canceled it till Wednesday." Well, today's Tuesday. Well, tomorrow's Wednesday. Hmm. Look, the problem we have is this, okay? Is the doctor turned around, or I'm getting sidetracked, and the doctor turned around and literally said that if we keep prepping, there's not going to be enough supplies left to get. And a lot of people will die. People said, well, if we don't prep, 2 billion people will die. No. The doctor said, quote unquote, if we don't not stop prepping, there could be 4 billion dead. And that's because too many people around the country are basically buying up everything, and the price keeps going through the roof. I mean, oh, that reminds me, I didn't check on that one price I was looking at, I mean, literally, you know what? I just talked to someone today because someone asked. I talked to and let's just say someone high enough up the chain. They got me in touch. My connections, I have connections with people in the Senate and House. They got me in with contact with a couple people that are in the internet protocol business. Basically they run the internet, certain websites, and they turned and told me outright. You ready for this? That a lot of people out there don't want to work. So they're basically finding a way to milk you, the cash cow, by calling this pandemic. And all these people are stockpiling because they're stockpiling. Look what they're doing. I mean, literally. Now, I haven't heard from my family, Corey or Dinky, but more likely they're probably sitting at home watching me saying, she might be right. I mean, I even wrote them a while back asking about supply and demand. What's it like in Texas? At least give me something to work on YouTube, because, the thing is I hear from various cities and towns and gas station supplies, just, you know, I mean, I saw you last night, right? Let me tell you a story here. This was a great story. I know Zoe probably wants to hear it. I was outside last night around 10 o'clock. I had dinner. It was a pot of ramen. Dad was like, oh, why don't you eat your club sandwiches? Because the dishes are piled up and lazy McShit needs a mental hospital. And when I bring it up, they tell me to quit it. Thing is, they expect me to do everything. I mean, literally, I make one mess: a pot, a bowl, and the fork. That's it. And I'll eat ramen until my ramen runs out. Then I'll eat some more. Yeah, sorry, I was looking for this. All right, so I'm just looking for pricing. So, do you want to see something that I picked up recently? That's a lot more money than. I could show you something if you wish. Look, let me show you this. I got 20 cases plus of this stuff. What do you think, Zoe? Long Shim. Hmm? This is a 20 pack. Oh, yeah, you see? People don't want to work, and that's where I want to talk about for a second. Think of it. My primary, my doctor that keeps an eye on me, so I have low sugar. She asked me the other day. She said, "Rita, you gained a few pounds. I see from Doctor C's notes." I said, "Yeah, doctor." I call her by first name Lisa. I sometimes call her Mama Lisa. She loves that. Anyways, Mama Lisa, I gained a few pounds, but honestly, no, my sugar level's pretty good. I only maintain my sugar at night when I'm playing a game. She says, still into those farming games? Yes, ma'am, Mom. Whatever. Things like this, okay? Picture this, all right? Now, I want you to pay attention to something and think about this, everyone, including you, Zoe, because this is important, very important. You want to buy a TV. You go and you find your TV. It's available. You can have it shipped tomorrow morning, right? You want food. It won't be shipped for a few days, and you're paying too much for it. Let me put it to you this way so you can understand. Think of the left hand is the supply chains, right? No workers, no truckers, no warehouse workers. Okay, let's put it this way. No factory workers in China. No cargo ships going to America that often. So, this is a better way of scaling it. No workers in China. They're all locked down. No cargo ships going to America that often. And when they do, they're backlogged by like 10 days. No truck drivers. No, this is the even part. No warehouse workers. No warehouse workers. Okay. No grocery store workers. And then in America, you got all the other stuff, Detroit and everything else. So it keeps going down, right? Whereas people are relying on food, price keeps going up because people keep buying it. And if there's no workers to restock and there's no workers to drive because of the gas shortage and there's no workers to deliver the supplies, where's the demand go? Think of it. The supply is low, non-existent or barely non-existent. The food industry is running on life support. Now, that's the best way of putting it. It's running on life support, right? So the food supply is running on life support, and yet gas prices and food prices are going up through the roof. Look at my primary care. Look at my doctor today. Most of her people are not working anymore. She's went through nursing in 2 years. She said she went through 50 nurses. They can't keep nurses. No one wants to work. So I said to her, "Why doesn't anyone want to work?" She said, "Because we were relying on China-made crap. Now we're going through U.S.-based companies and they're shipping us stuff." But some places, like other institutions, other clinics around the country, they don't want to change. They don't want to pay more because of it. Yet the problem, she said, is their clinic had to basically maintain some sensibility of order, which means order as in, law and order, as she called it. And the reason they did U.S.-based supply is because at least they know they can do it. But she says, but the problem is companies and fire departments that some private companies maintain ambulances. There's a place I know out in a town I used to live in. The fire department had the ambulances. Then the hospital was basically having the taxpayers. The hospital was maintaining the ambulance. Then they went to a private company. When they went to a private company, that's when they started having problems with parts. Now they can't get it. So the ambulances go down. They're screwed. And the fire department can't buy ambulances because they're not being made right now. They're custom orders. 18 months behind on orders, minimum. Meanwhile, if there is a part that needs to be done for the ambulance van, truck, chassis, whatever, if it's a Ford or Chevy or GMC, they're not being able to get it because there's not enough supply and demand for people to make these parts. So again, the system is not collapsed, but they're trying to get it. They're trying to rebound it. And then on top of that, she said the problem is the mandatory masks in the clinics. The clinics and the hospitals are still mandatory, So all in all, look at mask mandates in hospitals and clinics, blood labs, etc., etc. Then they think it's completely and thoroughly wrong. And yet, she said another wave's going to come in fall and December, fall and winter, and we got to prepare for it. By the way, has anyone seen the news about the other issue we were talking about this morning? She said to me, "Did you hear about Elon Musk?" I said, "Yes, I just read about it while waiting for you, doctor, to call me," because she called me instead of video conferencing because the problem is. But the problem with the U.S. supply thing is why they want U.S. supply is she said her clinic hospital group went U.S. supply based due to the fact that any way you look at it, 99% of the insurance companies pay for those supplies anyways for the person that gets the treatment. So any way you look at it, why rely on the cheaper thing for the customer? The patient's the customer. The customer needs the treatment. And without the treatment, we can't rely on Chinese made stuff. So we have to go with US based only. So the insurance company's paying for it. So why worry about, that would cut out what she said 1/10 of China's economy. But same time, she also said a lot of parts are coming from China. So Detroit gets shipments in all the time. They go and they get like water heaters and radiators and whatever else, and they put them in the cars. And so, when you have these auto zones and Napa Auto Parts and Pep Boys, they're all out of stuff. It's because they're getting their stuff from China. So technically it's a big problem, and so Pep Boys and other things and everything else and the supply and demand is pretty high. So because it's pretty high, you got to ask yourself, people are buying these parts and keeping them on hand. She was saying that the farmers were out where she lives because, it's a farming community out there. And they maintain apple orchards out where they're at, capital of apple countries out there. They're basically buying up all the parts to make sure that they can keep and maintain the trucks. Because this is their thing. But at the same time, they're raising the prices on the produce and the fruits to offset the cost of the extra parts. And then on top of that, they've also had to raise their poundage, bulk poundage on weight on the fruits and produce out there that they grow due to the fact that, they have to include gas pricing to move this stuff so it doesn't get rotten. So when you get to the store, it's still fresh. So they're basically offshooting all the pricing, Even though the consumers are bearing the brunt of it too. So not only is the consumers paying more, it's because the farmers that do get their stuff to market, it's costing more. And it's costing more, And on top of that, the other supply and demand problem with produce and fruits is some of them use high expensive fertilizer. And the fertilizer is expensive. Yeah, Bitcoin keeps dropping. I haven't checked Dow Jones today. I don't know. Higgins would be like, "Oh, the Dow Jones went up." So the Dow Jones went up 600 points today, so it's rebounding. So, you know. So everything went up today. So apparently Bitcoin dropped again due to the fact that Elon Musk opened his mouth. But the news about Elon Musk is that he basically here's another thing that's splitting the country, and this is something the doctor and I talked about too. Was I drink and know things? No, I'm fine. Basically, the doctor also said that there's a lot of problems with Roe versus Wade. People are waiting to see what happens so they can go vote accordingly. The gun control, they don't get anything done. You know, The gun owners will go and vote in force, thinking this is basically going to screw over people when it comes to getting something passed. But then again, they have to get something passed, because of the Uvalde shooting. Haven't checked to see. All right, so the senators finally released the text for the thingy. Let me see what this is. So Tuesday they're gonna vote at 4:30 our time, 7:30 or 1 2. Okay. Senate compromise legislation. How widespread GOP support? Yeah. Okay. Let's see. The Senate says include millions of dollar investment in mental health. Mental health system is broken. School safety crisis intervention program incentive for states to include juvenile records in the national incident. All right. So juvenile records. Mm-hmm. That was the juvenile record thing. You know. So one of the big news articles today with Elon Musk was Elon Musk's child came out and said they want to be called her, and they don't want to be affiliated with Elon Musk. Elon Musk basically said, that he supports transgender people, and yet most of his LGBTQ people in Tesla was fired. That was big news too. So he basically said he loves what DeSantis is doing, and et cetera, et cetera. And the doctor turned around and told me that this is going to cripple the country. It's going to make it more divided. On one hand, you got the Republicans, right, which says their opinion, and so with me that someone who undergoes sex change at 12 years old to pass so they can be undetectable. The Republicans don't like that idea because there's too much deceit. And a lot of men don't want to get their manlyhood or their machoism broken. They slept with a former boy who had a sex change at 11 or 12 or even 10. Doctors are now saying they can operate on 11 and 12-year-olds in blue states, which is highly unthinkable and highly unethical in my opinion. But she said, "Look, we're being forced." So when I asked her about communism, she asked me if I read The Naked Communist. I said, yes, all the boxes are checked. She says, there's the answer you need to know. So basically, you got one side doing one thing, one side doing another. I think people freaked about working in public due to mass shootings too. Makes you feel like sitting duck. Yep. Maybe, but the problem is if it passes, you can blame the Republicans because the American people supposedly voted for it. Now I don't know. Look, like I said, they talked about school safety. That's fine and dandy. They can also increase school safety by raising property taxes. We don't need to basically make a federal gun thing. I think that should be stricken. Okay. The mental health system's completely broken. Drink. I mean, literally. Look at Chloe. She's an example. Her roommate. The mental health system's fully broken. And yet, the other problem we have is that the whole child background things. Which children's backgrounds will be pulled? Will it be every American? Every American? That means 2/3 of Americans right now, 2/3 of kids have been picked up by law enforcement for something, whether it be a misdemeanor or a felony. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. The kids are glued to their damn phones. I mean, hell, I see half the time my family in Texas when they were in Oregon, they were glued to their phone half the time. I got away from it. That's why I don't use this, but for Google Voice and to check my messages in the morning. I always keep it charged and I always keep it next to the bed. So when I wake up, I can read the news on it. And then I sit down and read my newspaper. But you know what? Yeah, the mental health system's broken, yeah. And they say that this will give millions of dollars to it. Millions, not billions. To fix the mental health system, you need to spend billions. But instead, they want to include everyone's, quote unquote, everyone's, let me rephrase that again, I think they want everyone's child records, even if your child record was expunged, they still want it. I mean, literally. So basically what they're doing is anyone who has a background, smash shooting, drug dealing, drug using, robbery, etc. This they want to make it stick where you can't own a gun. No ifs, ands, or buts. And that's where to me I think it's an infringement. I mean, literally, maybe the kid was on drugs and he cleaned himself up. He should not be basically told, "Sorry, kid, you can't have a gun." This is another form of controlling the country by basically taking it away from a third or more of the population right off the top. I agree with Drink completely on that. Drink's right. That's an infringement. But you know what? They want the kids to be stupid. They want the kids to be watered down, and they want the kids to be dumb as a box of rocks. Look, if you ever watch something on HBO called Dangerous Sons, there's a Virginia or West Virginian Congress or senator that basically got stabbed. Okay, he literally got stabbed. Before he said, "Oh no, someone must not like his politics," it was his son. His son was mentally ill, and yet he said it best on Dangerous Sons. The states used to have thousands and thousands of mental hospitals for the mentally ill, but the ACLU said having him locked in a mental hospital, quote unquote, was wrong for being autistic or for being disabled or mildly retarded or transgendered or homosexual. They locked them up. Now, I'd like to ask you guys a question. Drink probably doesn't know this, nor do you, Zoe, but are you well aware? Here's a story for you. This is a true story, too. One day, the Queen of England at the time was on one of her trips, right, with her husband. And all the royal duties of the royal household was given to Princess Margaret at the time, the Queen's sister. When Margaret went in, apparently, she basically told the advisors. See, I'm trying to look up something because apparently one of her family members had like 7 kids, right? 7 kids, 7 or 9 kids, right, in the royal family. Dukes and duchesses and countesses and stuff, right? You can sit there and say, okay, so what's that have to do with the Queen? Well, 2 of the Queen's cousins, the oldest and the second oldest, could have been the next in line for the throne, but instead, they were too mentally ill. So, Margaret heard that they died. But then Margaret did some digging, and then she went to the hospital. Got into the mental hospital secretly through a different channel, and found out the Queen's 2 cousins were still alive. Being treated right, by the way, just being treated right. But every time the Queen was on TV, they would salute and bow to the TV. And these people thought these girls were weird. So one day, Margaret got in there and basically said, "Look, you know who I am?" They said, "Yes." "You know why these two are bowing?" They said, "Not really. We don't know." So when the doctors opened up the files, they found out that this was one of the royal monarchy's family members that's connected. So it's like two cousins being sent to a state-run mental hospital in England, being swept under the rug, and everyone was told they were dead. So when Her Royal Highness came back apparently from her trip, Princess Margaret confronted her and said, "Look, I went and did something, with the help of a friend. We tracked down the two cousins that you said were dead. Here they are. They're sitting in a mental hospital." So apparently the Queen decided to go up there to check on it. And lo and behold, they bowed down and said, "Your Royal Highness, it's an honor." At that point, the Queen realized the King, he was semi-mad anyways, had two kids who were disabled, autistic, whatever, who were mentally ill. You can Google it. And those two were, I think, princesses, and they were stuck in a mental hospital for life. Yeah, they shut it down because they thought evaluation and treatment centers could do the job, right? Where you go in, you spend 2 weeks, you get out, you're sound, But they have so many rules and regulations to get in there. For example, if you're suicidal and you go to the emergency room and you have a plan, they basically make sure that if you have weapons in your house, the police will come do a strip search of your guns without a warrant. They will basically detain you, and if you don't cooperate, they will legally detain you under an involuntary treatment act with other state. In this state, you excessively drink, they try to put you under involuntary treatment, thinking you drink too much. I had that happen to me once. You know what I did? I think I told you, Zoe. I walked out the front door of the hospital with a gown, wearing socks and underwear. Chloe went up 4 hours later, got my clothes. I slept it off. Got my medical record 4 days later. They said if the police found me on my way home, they'd arrest me. Didn't do it. Next day, I got a call for this place. God was looking after me. And the ACLU thinks that because people are trans or gay or lesbian or bi or mentally ill, retarded, autistic, whatever. And by the way, did you know the last lobotomy in this country was on John Kennedy's sister, I believe? The last lobotomy where they actually drilled holes in their skull or basically used an ice pick, one of the two. I can't remember how they do it, but it is basically barbaric. They basically take out the nerve. So, the doctors back then, did that. So think about it. Think about it, a lobotomy. And so the ACLU turns around and says, "Oh, it's unconstitutional." Now the ACLU won't say anything about it being an unconstitutional burden when it comes to an infringement to having child's records posted. Yep. I mean, literally, the lobotomy, the history repeats itself, but still, now they're saying that everyone who's mentally ill should be treated as mentally ill. Like they wanted to see the ACLU. Okay, here's the problem. Okay, with the ACLU as part of the economy problem we're having is the Republicans want to take away gays, lesbians, bis, trans, same-sex marriages, interracial marriage. They want to take away hermaphroditism. They want to take away queens. They want to take away drag queens. They want to take away the entire umbrella and say it's mentally ill. And so what they're trying to do is allow the governments to say it's unconstitutional for a company to hire somebody who's transgender. So each president either strengthens the existing laws or another president, Republican, tries to weaken the law. And to me, it's bad when you live in a country where the country basically turns around and says, if you're in a blue state, you're safe. If you're in a red state, you're screwed. Plain and simple. Think about it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then they said after they used this on, don't forget, under certain circumstances, under Involuntary Treatment Act, the Involuntary Treatment Act, doctors can still use electroshock therapy, EST, or ECT, electroconvulsive therapy. So you got to look at it from that point of view too. They're basically doing this, right? And so because of it, the country's gone down the shitter because of it, you know. And you look, the thing is Jesus never literally said anything about gay people. That's the truth. Okay, I'm a minister of God. Paul basically put it in Romans because Romans back then in the epistle it wrote to Romans, it was addressed to Romans because you know Romans were having same-sex sexual intercourse, but they were also uh, if you read the history books, Nero married his horse. Remember that one? And he played the fiddle while Rome was burning and blamed it on the Christians, so, even though he burned it down himself. You know, because of it. So if you look at the big picture on history, Paul was writing to the Romans, but Paul also was a Pharisee. And because he was a Pharisee, he still followed the Ten Commandments. Yet the true message was lost when Paul became a preacher because 2/3 of the New Testament is all Paul's writings from epistles. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John was apostles. And yet, if you look at the apostles and disciples of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Luke was a physician that worked with Paul. So his stuff got in. And by the way, if you didn't know, Luke also wrote the Acts of the epistles. Then you got Paul's stuff all the way to 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John. Mm-hmm. And then when you get through that, you got Jude, one of Jesus' other apostles. And then you got Jesus' brother James, who wrote the James. And then you have Revelation, which wasn't supposed to be in the Bible at all, if you didn't know. So think about that. It wasn't supposed to be. You do know there's two versions, and if you ever read Banned from the Bible, they had two versions of Revelation. One was the Revelation by St. John the Divine, who was actually locked up in a Roman prison on the island of Patmos. Everyone knows that history lesson. And then you had the other one, which was the Apocalypse of Peter, which everyone goes to hell and gets redeemed. Everyone goes to hell and gets redeemed, apparently. But the Catholic Church, under one of the archbishops who was under the Roman Caesar, Julius Caesar. No, yeah, it was Julius Caesar? No, it wasn't Julius Caesar. It was that other guy, Constantine. Yeah. Basically wanted it to be even. So they had like the Third Corinthians and other books that were so radical they didn't put it in the Bible. So they had a Bible. Hold on. View. All right. Okay, it's downloading. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm doing something real quick. I'll show you in a second what happened. All right, so you can see this. A nice rib steak for Father's Day. So my father-in-law is sitting down. He probably went to Starbucks. Now that's what he had for dinner tonight. And a side order of some type of greens and mushrooms. There you go. See? You guys can see it. Doesn't show his number. So there you go. Just to share it with you. So Dad got a steak dinner. I don't know which restaurant he went to, but there you go. So that tells you right there. Yeah, that's what Dad got basically. You know, I bought it for him for Father's Day. There is Catholic corruption. Why do you think the Catholics were corrupted so much that they basically made what was chosen in the Bible? A lot of Republicans believe in the Old Testament. You know, they believe that abortion should be illegal due to the fact that if a guy rapes you, you're supposed to have to rape his kid. If some incest person has a kid, it's God's will that the kid be born, even if it's from incest. So, you know. Yeah, I sent cards out to my cousin too. I could have put money in his card, but problem is my cousin hasn't even emailed or thanked me for the card I sent him. That's the real problem in this damn country, you know. It's like get new pillows and they clam up, you know. Get sheets and pillow, they clam up. You know. There we go. A little coffee will do me some good. So yeah, basically, you know, if you're looking at the big picture of this whole thing, they're trying to restrict gun ownership, but they're also trying to basically keep guns from people by having the gun manufacturer not have enough materials to make the guns either. And with a worker shortage, the makers can't make the guns anyway. So to the government, that's a win-win for them. So apparently Dad's having his dinner right now, apparently. And you're right. Your chromosomes will always be um, uh, male. But now these people are saying, you know, that doctors that do the sex changes and the hormone doctors, I mean, the hormone doctors, you know, the doctor I talked to today, their clinics have been forced to do transgender healthcare. She doesn't like it. She doesn't like it. She doesn't like how the general surgeon's got to remove breasts, ovaries, and uterus, where in other specialties, whereas other specialties are forced to do hormones. And she's like, you go in, you claim you're trans, they got to put you on hormones right away with not even a psych eval. I mean, literally, back in the day, you had to literally have 3 psych evals and 2 years of therapy before they even give you hormones. Now it's just go in and be like, oh, yeah, I'm a woman in a man body. And they give them the hormones. And then their DNA is always going to be male. But, you know, a lot of these transgender people say there is no God because God didn't make them right. Because if God made them right, God would have made them right. You know what I say to that, Zoe? I'll tell you my theory. I've asked God about this. Tell you what happened, okay? God made everything the same pretty much. People were the same, right? He gave man and woman the ability to conceive. They had kids, and then they had kids, and then they had kids. And then eventually, God kept doing it over and over, and it was getting boring to God. So what did God do? He thought about turning around and saying, oh, you know, by the way, did you know that, that all man was African American, or I should say African or dark skinned? When they started moving to other parts where, like Siberia, that's where the skin started to bleach over the eons due to the fact that They turned white due to the fact that they were living in the frozen cold. So when the sun hit the snow, the sun would bleach their skin and their skin would turn to be lighter. And eventually that's how white man came to be. Before then, Jesus was a dark man. If you didn't know that, Jesus was a dark man. Yeah, and that's the thing. The thing is if a gay man is gay, God created gay for a reason. God created lesbian for a reason. But they claim, oh, well, there is no God because God made me a man and I was supposed to be a woman wearing the frilly stuff. No, you know what the truth is? The truth is this, okay? Flat out right, there are 7 types of transgenderism, okay? 7 types. You can sit there and say, really? There is. Let me tell you about the 7 types. I want to give you just a breakdown of them really quick without going into details, because I think you might find this to be entertaining, okay? There's the genetic error like me, hermaphroditism, right? Then there's the closeted homo that basically is told they're going to hell because they're a homo or lesbian or bi. So they decide to go and get a sex change. And then once they do that, they think they're justified in getting into heaven because the church told them so. Again, it doesn't work. God loves anyone, so you don't need a sex change. Then there's the victim. The victim's the one that gets bullied in school, called a panty waist, a pussy, a girl, acts like all feminine and everything else. Maybe he's gay, maybe whatever. So he or she goes and gets a sex change. Women gets raped too many times in certain cultures. They decide that they don't want to be raped anymore, so they're going to become masculine, grow a beard, be a man. Completely outright. They're going to be fucking a man. Then there's the people that are the ugly. The ugly are the ones that can't get anyone. You see where I'm going with this? They can't get anyone, so they go and have a sex change and be an ugly looking woman. And then they want facial reconstruction and everything else because they're ugly. And maybe they're ugly because they're autistic or disabled or mildly retarded or whatever. Those are the ones that basically do it because they can't get a girl. And they think that today's society, a girl wants stability, a working man, and so they decide to change their sex. Now, that's another one. The next one on the list is the fetish. The fetish are the ones that you see on Instagram and Facebook wearing thigh highs and having breast implants and they're showing their boobs and they're like, oh yeah, look at me, look how cute I am, look at my implants, I'm great. You know, those are the fetish types. And they might be the fetish, but they also might be gay and they might be ugly too. You can be multiple on the same 7 types. The next one on the list is the attention seekers. They're the ones that basically they didn't get enough attention growing up from mommy and daddy, so they decide, okay, I'm gonna have a sex change. That'll get everyone's attention, even though it might be the wrong answer. Those are the ones that basically do the attention seeking. You see where I'm going with this? And finally, you got the last one, Miss Zoe, the lazy. The lazy are the transgender people that get tired of taking care of the woman, working their ass off, buying the chocolates for the woman, buying the candies for the woman, taking the woman to dinner, taking them to movies, and the man's thinking, yes, I have to live as a man. I have to take care of a woman. It's my job. The Bible says so. The court says so. The state says so. Everyone says so. And then they finally have enough and they say, fuck this. I want to be taken care of. So they go and they do everything they can. Facial feminization, breast augmentation, reconstructed skull, everything. And then they pass to the point. Then they're like, oh yeah, I'm a cute girl now. Look at me. And then they deceive a guy and the guy marries them. And eventually, somehow the guy finds out through maybe the new woman's parents who says, are you gay? And they're like, no, why? I married your daughter. Well, this is our daughter before they had the change. And then the daughter ends up dead. And it's because of family members and it's because of the guy who thought he was marrying a genetic woman. And transgender people out there, the lazy, they're the most ones that do the most deceiving, if you didn't know. So think about it that way. They deceive And so the Republicans want to take that away. They want to sit there and say, look, a man can't become a woman past very well at 12 years old and get married. And then when the guy finds out his girl can't get pregnant, he sits there and says, oh, birth defect. That's what the excuse they say. Unless he goes and does a background check about name change at 12 years old. And those records would be sealed anyway. So doctors are trying to push people to have sex changes before 12. That's just completely wrong. So think of the economy. They're basically trying to force sex changes on little kids. And the Republicans, no offense to anyone who's tuned in like Gabby or Tara J, the Republicans are literally basically trying to stop that. They're also trying to stop interracial marriages because they don't think an interracial marriage is right for the country. Where a black man and a white woman or a white woman and a Hispanic marry, interracial, it should be marriage within their own race. Plain and simple, by the Republicans' own standards. Same time, you see all these states turning around and saying, look, you can't go to school and come out as trans. You got to wait. States are basically cracking down on it. They're cracking down on transgendered healthcare. They're cracking down on transgenderism. They're cracking down on abortions. They're cracking down on interracial marriage. They're cracking down on all this because, in their opinion, that's what Americans want. But truly, it's what they want because they're fucking white rhinos, and they're basically that they grew up where they can grow up to be bigots. And the country's going to get more and more bigoted if we don't look at the big picture. The laws are there. The laws need to stay there. But they want to change it because they think, on that. So think of it from that point of view. The lazy, for example. They don't want to work anymore. They're like, oh, yeah, I have a sex change. You got to take care of me. I'm a real woman. I'll cook at home. And then they cook like shit. Literally, my husband sat me down and I watched everything. And then I'd make dinners and he'd make dinners. And I'd make dinners and he'd make dinners. The gay person is the nicest person in the world. I knew one gay guy in my guild that basically was a co-leader. Unfortunately, he left. I can't even remember his name now, but he left. He left due to the fact that he went with a trans man. And then the gay guy bought the trans man all these legendaries, and then the gay man got thrown out of his new guild, and that was it. And I helped pay for 3 expansions for 3 of my guild co-leaders. And let me just say, only one replies to me. The other 2, one left because his sword was in the guild vault. I sent him the sword. The other one refuses to contact me at all, plays by himself and doesn't care. So I lost all motivations. Yeah, well, they're prophesizing that, but a lot of Republicans hate it. They hate the rainbow. They hate how it's Pride Month, and they want to cripple it. And it's funny because they'll cripple Pride Month. They'll cripple the transgendered people. I mean, look, Elon Musk came out, and he fired literally his entire LGBTQ team recently, and supervisors and managers fired them. So, no, we had to cut corners. That was his excuse. But he fired them basically because he doesn't want to be Democrat anymore. He claims the Democrats are the party of hate. And the party of love is the Republicans. Sorry to say, but that's a bunch of malarkey. The Democrats aren't the party of hate. The Democrats are the party of give everyone what they want, keep the peace. But at what expense? The guild is on my own. Guild Wars 2. It's an online game. I haven't gone to the guild in a while. I just lost motivation. I lost motivation when my one guildie said he'd stay with me and said he just packed up and left after spent like $90 for his expansion. Co-leader Jawa basically is the only one messaging me. Playing his expansion I bought. Again, it's expensive. And then moderator Rick from Venezuela, our co-leader, co-guild leader Rick hasn't messaged me at all. I keep messaging him. I know he's online, but And then co-leader Jeremy left to the fact that he thought I was too harsh when it came to two issues. One was I told him just go do this, this, and this and get his mount. He thought he wanted to do it the hard way. I said I'd back him up on the strike mission, but not the thing. It took me 140 hours to get my mount, not including three of my guild co-leaders basically backed me up when we went into the strike mission, and only me and another guy who wasn't in the guild basically survived it. He got his turtle, I got my turtle mount. Turtle mount, basically. One guy drives I drive the mount, the gunner in the back fires the cannons. Unfortunately, it failed. It literally failed. Currently, you're the only active one right now. Gabby was on yesterday. She missed the show. There's Higgins and Pee Wee. Myself, Chloe's a mod too. But other than that, that's for what I understand. Most of my mods aren't even available right now. You know, Tara J's not in. Gabby's not in. So you're the acting one. And Higgins, he never does anything anyways. He sees actual problems and he'll just report it and be like, oh, I reported it. But me, if someone's talking about something like the no man's land, we don't go there. You know, like my female plumbing, then they get banned. I'm not tolerating it. I reported them, and I reported them. You know. And then, as you know, I removed Chloe's comment. You know. Even moderators have to basically be polite. You know, Joe Gill once was a moderator, but he started screwing up left and right. I don't know where Higgs is. He's probably glued to his TV or he's playing on his tablet, you know, whatever it is. But, you know, Higgins is probably the only one that has enough food for freaking 18 months. The thing is, we don't truly know what's going to happen. The doctor thinks the more people stockpiles, the doctor thinks the more the more people that stockpile, the more the prices will raise because no one can basically maintain it. I put an email out there, by the way, and I got replies today when I got up, by the way, to the canned food manufacturing, the big canned good places. They said they can't keep the demand in because they don't have enough workers. If they had enough workers, food would be lower. But instead, people say, oh, well, because of inflation, they're just going to keep raising the price. Well, that's for me to decide, not for them to basically be an opinionated when I check prices daily. Right before bed, I check prices all the time. The doc basically stated that the price is going up because there's not enough workers, and the companies I emailed today said that the supplies would be stabilized if we had enough workers, but there's not enough workers due to the fact that everyone's at home. One guy emailed me directly. I think it was the CEO of one of those major food companies. And he said, look, if we had people literally working and not living on food stamps, we wouldn't have this problem. He said the problem is all these people are so butthurt that Joe Biden's president that they're deciding to cripple the economy. So he said, oh, yeah, I forgot to check something. You know, thanks for reminding me. I need to check my Twitter feed. Usually I don't check Twitter feed that often, once a week. Here we go. That's what I want. This was done May 10th. So they haven't. Oh no, May 10th. Vulnerable financial exploit. Yeah, most of them basically closed cases, anyways. June 17th. Remember, I was closed Monday and Juneteenth. Oh yeah, that's nice. You're closing and everyone gets a day off and World Abuse Day, meal through, meal, yada yada yada. I'm trying to find something. So apparently they're not even talking about, because I always keep this up for July, the food stamp extended. Oh, hold on. Show this thread. 4555. No, yeah. Hold on. May 10th, May 26th. So basically, so this guy is basically complaining that he wants to live in Washington for Medicaid, yet he can't because he's from Chicago. But they're not talking about the 7 payment. Well, the problem is there is shortages. Okay, you got to understand. I live on an island. Okay, so basically prices will be a little higher because they have to ship everything from their warehouse onto the ferry to um, the ferry over here, and then they got to unload it to 2 grocery stores. Meanwhile, that's what they got to do. So think of it from that point of view. But at the same time, what happens when it comes to other issues? See where I'm going with this? My point being is the American people are suffering. They're suffering big time. They're suffering to no end. And because of it, they're suffering big time. That's all I can say. And the doctor said they had to change from a Chinese-based supplier to a American-based for their medical supplies. But she said as long as no one's working and the food stamps keep flowing in, no one's going to work. People would rather live on food stamps. She also says they want to cripple Joe Biden. She said this is a political stunt. I mean, she also said she's heard rumors going around because she lives in a Republican county and half the state's Republican from Eastern Washington farmers community. She's heard that rumors are flying around that people want to overthrow the government, so they're basically stockpiling. Thing is, you don't stockpile food and then, turn around and be like, oh yeah, we're going to overthrow the government. That doesn't work. Where's my keys? Here it is. I need to take Chloe's up from her nap. Need to get her to get some mail. I'm curious about something. Can you get the mail, please? Thank you. By the way, we got something. Otherwise, lots of free bread and bacon. So, anyways, like I said, the doctor turned around for the 45 minutes to an hour. She says because people are stockpiling, that's the reason prices are high and the workers are low. So when you hear these people turn around, she says stockpile because of the inflation or the crumbling of the economy. She also stated again, because we were talking about some of these YouTubers, she's well aware of some of these YouTubers people actually watch, quote unquote. Like I said, she's like a mom to me. She said, look, you know as well as I did, when you and Aaron were running a small cigar channel, you weren't making any money, if anything. But nowadays, you got people that don't want to work. So they're basically getting 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 million subscribers, and they're making a living off of the YouTube vid. So they make a video, and they're like, oh, you need to prep, you need to prep, you need to prep. She was talking about one of her favorite doomsdayer on YouTube, who's been saying that you better prepare for the end because the end's coming, and it's coming within the next year. And she said that the same company, quote unquote, has been saying the same bullshit for the last freaking, she was talking about two people. One was she was talking about, let's see, I'm behind on videos. No, let me look. Here we go. The videos I watch, from time to time. Okay, so yeah, I am behind. Let's see. The collapse has begun. This is something she subscribes. She watches it every night. She finds it. Rats, public defecation, open drug use. Facts about depression in America. Housing crash. About the supply chain. And they go to the gas station, stock up. Now, the thing is to see. She says these people here are making a living off of it. I mean, look, the latest video 6 days ago, 20 signs the economy is starting to, let's just look, starting to fall apart rapidly, 71,000. 15 facts about depression in America will shock you. 4 days ago, 76,000. Housing crash imminent, 79,000. 20 facts about this supply chain collapse will take your breath away, 77K. And go to the gas station, stock up now because people are getting worse in the months ahead. The problem is this person here makes a video and gets 80,000 views a week, where some people, there's this guy that I tune to from time to time, right? Sometimes I watch his facts, right? Let me put it to you this way. He made a video today, right? Currently, he's got 16,000. A day ago, he's got one that's 46,000. The next one is 75K, 83K. So the guy, I'm not going to give you his name, but bottom line is the guy is getting so many hits a day that he's making money off it, okay? Let me put it to you this way, all right? Me and the doctor kept tuning in. Apparently she's one of my followers on YouTube anyways, but she said, look, when you were doing your stimulus vids for 8+ hours at a time and you had plenty of people, you were having hundreds of views, that's nothing compared to some dipshit that makes a 10-minute video and gets 300,000 in one day just because people want to watch him about stimulus checks. I mean, you wouldn't believe how many videos I get emailed from me from Pee-wee that I watch. Just because I'm curious of what's going on. But at the same time, look at the big picture when it comes to the view. People are basically, now that stimulus checks ain't there, what's the next fad? Stockpiling. She said they're making money off of it. They're making money off of your fears. Think of it. She says, I can basically spend 2 hours and tell you they're making money off fears. 99% of the people might buy it. 1% might turn around. She said it might be Republican that's going to keep stockpiling because they don't care. Literally. And then she said 1% that believes the Republican Party will fix itself. She says each party doesn't fix itself. The Republican Party is a bunch of hate. She turned around and told me outright she's going independent this coming election. She says, I'm going independent. I'm not going to vote for a hate. She says, I may be against transgendered health care because they're forcing it on me, being Catholic, Rita. But you know what? The only reason why I took you as a patient is because you and I had something in common. We both shared the same professor. That's the thing. The professor that was my doctor basically kept me in line in Seattle many times over. So when I was in her office the first time where she was saying, I can't help you, I looked up and I said, before she came in, I said, oh, sorry, nice to meet you, Dr. S. And that's when I said, you're like a mother figure. She said, oh, thank you. And I go, so you went to this place where you're schooling? She said, oh, yes, I went through it. I said, do you know Dr. blah, blah, Professor W? She said, yeah. And she said, yeah, was my professor. Well, next time I run into him, which I do periodically via email, I'll tell him I said you said hi. She said, well, in that case, I will go get the reports from him and personally talk to him on the phone, and I'll go from there. But no, I'm not going to deny you. But any other person that tried to go through her was denied. Boom. But then all of a sudden, they were forced to do it in like 2013 or 2016. One of the two is when they started to be forced to cover more transgender health care. And since then, she said what's really bothering her is they're forcing her to basically give hormones to someone who's under 10 years old. She said, I can't tell you anything, but there's a few that are 4 years old. And she says, she's about to retire. She says, then they're down to one doctor that can do it. One. And that other one wants everyone to pass so well so they don't get abused and bullied as kids. She said it's wrong. So when we were talking about the economy, she said this is one reason why the freaking Republicans want to take back power. They want to stop this. She said they want to stop it. They don't want a man who's genetically manned competing in women's sports. It's wrong. They're taking away from people. She said other states, you're a transgender person in a red state, they might discriminate against you anyways, like in the Carolinas with the bathroom bill, for example, So, but she said, basically, look at it from that point of view. Inflation's gone through the roof. She said to me, Zoe, inflation went through the roof because mankind around the world is hearing that there's a breakdown in the system. They're hearing rumors. She said, I subscribed to this Norwegian guy. I said, you mean such and such with the perfect English? The guy basically is so paranoid. He's using his book sales money to buy and build, as she said, to build himself a remote place out in the middle of nowhere. Yet, oh, you got the mail. Thank you, Chloe. Thank you so much. Hopefully you're calmed down. Give me all those. I'm going to go through them and see. These are more testing kits. They keep mailing me fucking testing kits or something. That's the thing. They keep mailing me these damn testing kits. Sooner or later, I'm going to have a closet full of them. I guess they get... What?
You said in your video that people were voting Republican in droves because of the economy.
No, people are... No, I didn't say that. I said people are voting for other reasons. The thing is I was trying to tell Zoe before you came out and interrupted that the doctor basically said mankind brought on this damn pandemic. When it came to China locking down, that's fine and dandy. The China's basically trying to hold us hostage. We can pull out, put our factories back here, but some of them don't want to. So, So, anyways, more testing kits. I think they can't get rid of them fast enough that they keep mailing me every day. This is some coupons. Well, Chloe and I have been waiting for these, weren't we?
Something about interracial marriages being banned.
Look, the Roe versus Wade's taken away. How many times have I told you about interracial marriages?
They'll take it away, too.
They're taking away transgendered things. I mean, look.
It's a state-by-state basis, though.
It's not a state-by-state. Federal law prohibits you basically discriminating if someone's interracial. They want to go they want to follow the Old Testament. That's why Chloe keeps interrupting me.
They want to make it so states could make their own laws and ban it.
And the thing is they can't ban it. The Supreme Court would basically injunction it, Capital One, progressive. I want to see this. So apparently, this will tell me exactly what I want to know because apparently this is Chloe's book for whatever it is. I'm looking at this. I want to see what this is. Okay, so apparently she's got behavioral health health assessment. You know what? They're trying to con her to fill out all this crap. Let me see here. Let's see what these questions are. This is for mental health. Do you have anyone with heart disease, heart failure, cancers, diabetes, bipolar, depression? No. Are you currently pregnant? No. Taking prescription medicine? Which ones? See, this is the stuff, that they want Chloe to mail back. Child health assessment? We don't have a child. What's this? Okay, so one side is the same. So these are basically useless questionnaires they want Chloe to mail. Is there any other questions? Let me see. Sorry, fill this information out. Oh, that's okay. So they give it to you in 4 different languages. This is useless crap. Literally, it's useless crap that they sent Chloe that, I mean, literally, it's trash. This is trash, too. That is coupons. We ever want to get some Red Man. Let's see what this is. This is trash, too. I don't want progressive. I don't want a credit card. This is trash. This is trash. This is trash. This is... So find a doctor for Medicare thing. Your benefits, we already know this. This says here, intake evaluation, getting care, crisis services. I don't even know how the fuck they did this. Complete your health assessment. Yeah. Muppy!
Bad dog.
So Island has got this number here. So Moppy, bad. Knock it off. Don't make me get up. So apparently this is just basically a welcome packet for whatever mental health thing it is. I don't even know why they gave her mental. Apparently because they think that she needs it or she's going to lose the Social Security benefits. They said she needs to get help or she's going to lose it. Now they've offered her help. And, that's what... Don't want to smell that rotten tuna in the can. Okay, this I don't know what it is. This might be interesting. Let me check the door. Make sure there's no deliveries. Okay, so what is this? Is this a survey or is it a letter? That's the thing. Chloe's like, who do want to answer? It's a survey. Let's see. Please fill the survey out. Yeah. Survey says it will not ship without a postage stamp. I'm paying for the postage stamp. Besides that, Chloe probably say the hospital service sucks anyways. So let's see what Zoe's got to see. COVID tests, yeah, those forms are a pain to fill out.
Moppy.
Let's see. I'm not guessing the sheriff. I'm guessing the sheriff. The sheriff's basically on board too, but the problem is, again, as like Dr. S said today on the phone, I spent an hour plus with her this morning. That's why I went to bed late. Was the fact that mankind, Zoe, is basically causing this problem, basically, literally causing the problem of inflation, literally causing it to a big T. Yeah. Basically, what it is mankind is hearing lies. Oh, we got to prep and all this by her opinion. Remember, she lives in farm community. And there, no one's prepping out there because they think the grocery stores are stocked. And they aren't worried about it. The only thing that I hear from her was, like I said, the farmers are raising their prices on their produce, which, she lives in apple country. Well, I used to live there too. And so the apples are delicious. She also got angry because Chloe promised her, quote unquote, oh yeah, I'm going to Seattle next month. So the doctor, one of the things doctor said is, oh, you're going to Seattle too? No, I'm not. I'm not leaving. And because they didn't email me a video link, I had more time on the phone with her. I said, I'm not basically, she said, oh, I heard from Chloe you got a new puppy. I said, no, she wants a Moppy Jr. That's what she wants. She said she wants a Moppy Jr. She wants another dog, a Moppy dog, but she wants a Moppy Jr. Oh, I said, we don't have, but I only have Moppy. She said, oh. I said, I have the bunny. So we talked about the bunny, but she said, and I quote, that, like I said, the producers, they're basically getting their produce to market. Some people say, oh, well, we drive to the market, and the food's expired by the time they get there. The produce is rotten. Out here, they basically take and offset the pricing for the fruits and vegetables they produce out in Eastern Washington, and they deliver to market. And when market gets them, they basically do it. They also, she said, and we know this for fact, is every year, say for example, it's apple country, every year about 25 billion apples are put into hard storage in case of a problem. So last year's apples are in dry freeze. So basically all they do is they pull them out and they take them to the market. So they look fresh and new because they've basically been in dry freeze. So that's what they do. Every year they dry freeze about 25 to 50 billion, as in B, apples. And they ship off when a country like, say, Japan wants apples, they just pack up 2 billion apples at a time and dry freeze shipping container and ship it out of Seattle and it gets to Japan. So technically, the thing is there's dry freeze. So our apples are dry frozen. You can dry freeze vegetables. The problem is these Republicans, farmers didn't think about it. Like states like Oregon, Washington, California use dry freeze. So that's why your vegetables look fresher because they're freezing it. I lived in vegetable country. I could walk out to speak to the farmers outside in my old hometown, literally with no trouble, but out here, there is no dry freeze. You're paying whatever they want for the price of beef, So, bottom line is the doc's completely right. The doc basically said mankind, Zoe, has caused this to no end. And that's the truth. Truth is, look at these people stockpiling like crazy. They're causing the inflation to go up. If they just let she said, if, quote unquote, the Republicans are this ass hurt, in her opinion, she was Republican, and they're so ass hurt that they signed bills back in the 90s during the Clinton administration to move everything to China. Now China's got a grip. And now she says companies all over America, the medical field is changing suppliers from China to U.S. And the U.S., she says the insurance companies are going to be paying for these supplies anyway. Look at it. So why skimp and get it cheaper by going through China? Because at one time the state wanted everything to be Chinese made, but China can't deliver, so we cut China out. If China can't deliver other things, he cut them out. I mean, literally. I mean, the other day I was looking at fishing rods, right? Fishing rods, mind you. Actual spin rods where you throw it out, and just drop in a lure. You can get them for like $30. So I was like, oh, wow, $30. That'd be a good present for me. I like fishing. Boy's like, how much is the $30? She said, oh, it must be Chinese-made garbage. I mean, literally. She says, you're into fly fishing. You got a top-of-the-line rods. And yet you want a $30 spin rod that's, Chinese-made. The thing is, mask now.
I'll be on the screen soon unless I clean my face up.
Oh, I see. So you're leaving at 10. I'll leave at 10. I'll go use the bathroom, and then I'll game until dinner time, I guess. And I'm going to teach, I'll let Chloe try to prepare the first part of the food once she gets everything cleaned up. She's got to get 3 loads of dishes done. Dishwasher has been ran in days. I think she's I'm trying to say something. Don't interrupt me. I think she's trying to conserve on dish pellets because they're so damn expensive. I mean, last time Chloe said they're $7.99. I think they're like $12.99 or $14.99 a bag last time. They doubled the price, and we're basically buying just regular dish pellets. I even asked my advocate the other day, right, if we can get some more. They might be able to get us a bag. Might be. But they said more likely it's better to basically try to conserve. But this is the like $14.99 for Signature Select, isn't it? Oh yeah, this is not from Walmart, by the way. This is what they call Signature Select. Or did you buy this at Safeway?
This is from the
So they're using Signature Select here at our grocery store. So they might be using the Safeway brand out here anyways. But you get the idea. Then she chose this Signature Select freezer bags. This was like $6.99 for 19 bags right there. I want a gallon size. She didn't call me, and so we got probably this is all they had. I bet.
They had the gallon size, just I wasn't sure what to get, and that was cheaper. Right now, I'm trying
$6.99 is cheaper compared to the gallon size. Yes, I know. Hi, you want to be on video for a minute? You got happiness. You got food in your belly. Actually, 2/3 of that bag's been missing, so Chloe complained to Amazon. At least they're replacing it. My mac and cheese, they won't even get back to me on. They don't care if the box is usually completely crushed. So, Oh, yeah, look at this. No, I haven't made French toast yet. I should. We need to get a couple ingredients for it. We got eggs already we can use. Nutmeg's going to be expensive. I can cut out nutmeg. But yeah, I'd like to make some French toast. And just see, look what I brought in here. Guy's happy. He's got some food. So they're going to replace this food bag thanks to Chloe complaining. And he's got his treats. Oh, come here. Don't basically whimper. I didn't hurt you. No. Moppy the Mop Top. Yep, that's what my Uncle Donnie is called. Hey. Yeah, you know what? Because he whimpers like this, right? Chloe even knows that whimper. See, I'm looking at Chloe when I say it. She doesn't get it.
He wants a payment.
Yeah, see, that's what he does. He whimpers so he can get a payment. He's got a whole bunch of payments. Let me show you his payments real quick. See, now he's dancing.
He wants a payment. If you don't give it to him, he'll decide to yipe when you hold him. Or he'll just yipe anyways.
This went up. I went to look at these today. These went up like $6 a can. $6 a tub. Look at these. It's filet mignon flavored T-bones. Look at that. This is what Chloe with her gift card. Yeah, well, apparently he yiped. Remember what happens when he yipes.
Yeah, but sometimes it's a Kanye.
Yeah, we know he's a Kanye. Kanye. That means he cons ya. See, Kanye means you con ya. He cons us. But Instead, he calls it a kanya, kanya. I whimper, you give me payment. See, now I was eating it.
And then he'll yipe again, so he gets.
Yeah. So later, right? Later, I'll play a game. Right. This is what happened. Right. He does this all the time. I'll be playing a game. Right. Even when Chloe wasn't around. Right. I'd be sitting there. Right. And I'd be sitting there. Like one time, I was sitting there. Right. I took a picture and sent it to my cousin Dinky. And I was sitting down, and he's over by the chair. You know, my old place. You know, Chloe knows where the blue chair was. And I'm getting ready to sit down. Right. And anyways, at the time, I'm sitting there, and I'm like smiling, like, oh yeah, this is gonna be great, right? And all of a sudden, I hear yap, yipe. I look over, and he's trying to pretend he got hurt because right there on the plate on my little table, which is right behind me now, the little coffee table, because I don't have room. He literally turned around, right? And he's whimpering, trying to say he got hurt. When I'm standing there looking at my food, which was like a whole sub sandwich or something. I think it was some type of sandwich. I had this nice sandwich I took at takeout. I think it was Subway or somewhere else, But he literally looked at me like, yeah. And I'm like, no, you don't get it. He's like, yeah. I'm like, no, you're not hurt. Yeah. No, you're not getting it. Yeah. I mean, literally, that's what he does. And like last night, right? I felt really bad last night. I'll tell you why, okay? Now, as you know, Chloe's sitting there. She's paranoid. She's literally paranoid, right? Here's Chloe. Oh my God. Chloe last night was being a complete cunt. I can say that because, that's what she was. And I sat there and I said, look, don't worry. Just go out of your room, quit being a fucking hermit, and give him a can of tuna. He likes tuna once in a while. So she goes out and gives him like 2 cans of tuna and leaves, right? Gets her corn dogs, right? Just make sure to give him one. Oh no, you got tuna, right? So she's paranoid. I'm going to go to the store to get him dog food. Well, delivery came in today for dog food. But, I ordered, and it hasn't come in yet, toilet paper and 40-pound dog food. So I bought like 2 40-pound bags. Fortunately, like I said, the little guy's a con man. He Kanyas. Instead of Kanye, it's Kanya's. Kanya. Now he's looking at me, see? He's smiling. He's like looking at me like, hey, Mom, another one? No, you got to earn it.
Yeah, I like Alpo. I want more Alpo, yeah.
Definitely cold. I'm doing the Zoe shuffle, remember? That commercial for Geico, and the icky shuffle is going to give me some cold cuts. Woo! Going to get some cold cuts. Instead, the Zoe shuffle. Woo! Gonna get some cold cuts. Gonna get me some cold cuts. Gonna get some cold cuts. Gonna get me some cold cuts.
Just jump up on that chair where you get up, sit there, wait for your bed, sit down,
You would too. You would. He'd hop on the chair. But you know what? My eyesight's semi bad. But if I caught him in time, I'd pull him down, and he'd yelp anyway as I move down. See, you put him. I've seen him.
He actually waits, and he actually waits for a perfect time.
So you see what happens is you take Moppy, right? Say he's on the bed, right? You move him down to his doggy bed. And as you move him, you pick him up nicely, you gently, and you pick him up and move him. You're like, yep. And that means he's basically saying you're giving me a payment because I can con you.
He wants a payment because he's been moved.
Well, let me put it to you this way, okay, Zoe? I got a game. Chloe's got a clean, okay? Here's the deal. I want to share with this, right? You say you like a good Sammy? Well, look what I'm cooking tonight. I'm going to be dishing the bacon sizes and portions out because this costing me so much money. I'm making it count. But let me just put it to you this way, okay? Got to make sure there's enough for that. I'm cooking the whole block, right? Look at this. $9.99 for smoked ham and $9.99 for smoked turkey. Grab it. I'm going to have to use like 2 pieces each to make this last. We're not going to have to pile it up. So, but bacon, that mayonnaise. We don't have any cheese though, but you know what? I'm making clubs tonight. Chloe can use double stackers. I can do triple stackers. I'm doing double stack or triple stackers. I'm just going to cut my sandwich in 2 instead of 4. It's easier to handle 2 slices cut with a bread knife instead of 4. Otherwise, I'll show you what I usually do if I'm really in the mood. Because frankly, I'm not really in the mood for hard bread. Is if I do the triples. By the way, Chinese made. They moved out of country, by the way. They used to make these in America for $1.79. Now they're 99 cents to $1.99. I think we paid $3.49 for 200, but it says right there, look at this. Made in China. So the Blue Diamond Corporation that makes the almonds, they're not making almonds in America, making toothpicks in somewhere else. So I toothpick them after they're toasted, and then I cut them in 4s, like professional grocery stores. So I give you 3, I give you a triple stacker, cut in 4s. So what I do is I make the sandwich, right? I cook the bacon. Then when the bacon's all done, I take the mayonnaise and I lay out all 3 sides of mayonnaise for that. Bottom, middle gets 2 sections. Then I flip it and then I layer it again. And then I put more bacon and stuff on it. Then, I put like turkey and then ham and then bacon on the top. And then I stack it with 3s. And then I put the toothpicks in. And then I cut in 4s evenly. And then you get crunchy club sandwiches. I always sleep soon. That's the thing. I sleep like a baby. I don't even know how Chloe didn't even wake me up this morning. I figured she'd be like, sorry, gotta do the dishes. Instead, to like 4 in the afternoon, 4:30, So anyway, since you're leaving, I'm going to be leaving too, Zoe, because I do want a game. I'm in winter time, which Chloe knows is my productive time in my farming game for mining. I'm on level 80 mine now. I'm thinking of taking a couple days in my gaming off to run around town to collect my droppers, or my tappers as they call them. I got to collect my tapping stuff. Some people say, oh, it's that's where you basically put a tap on a tree and you get either pine tar, which is from a pine tree, maple syrup from a maple tree, or oak resin from oak resin. I tapped a tree the other day, and every day it pops up this little thing, and I go and get it, and it gives me a mahogany seed, and it's like, I don't want a mahogany seed on this tree because I'm not growing mahogany trees. So I'm trying to see what my goal is right now. My game is I'm going to turn around and I'm going to basically get all the materials together. Chloe knows this, and I'm putting sprinklers in. So once my sprinklers are in, I could basically cut up all my farmland and then turn around and plant everything and then let the sprinklers feed the system every morning. I can go to the mine again or fishing because I'm behind on a few things. So we will talk soon, Zoe. For the rest of you out there, I'm out. It says 2 hours, 25 minutes. My gaming call. I do got to go. So remember what I said. Just think about what I said. Chew on it. Don't basically not stop prepping in case this does happen. But just think of what my doctor said. She said mankind has caused the prices to spike because everyone's believing in the bullshit. Basically believing it. As she said. Could be there's an overthrow of the government, so they're all trying to stockpile. The other thing is companies are seeing how bad China's getting, and they're reevaluating what's going to happen down the line. But then again, I was talking to the fly fishing guys today. True story, by the way. This is a great story. People are complaining about waiting 6 months to 18 months for the newest rods. And someone said today, I don't know why we can't get the newest rods in. They're pushing the release date back. Some people get the test models, the rest don't. What gives? And so someone said, well, it's the supply and demand and the fact the worker shortages. Again, one of the main forum guys posted, right? But literally posted and said, look, it is literally a worker shortage. I mean, people sit there and they message me like once every 3 or 4 days. Do you have an update? Do we get our food stamps for July in Washington? No, we don't yet. That's the thing. If they take it away before the freaking in July, it's going to hurt a lot of people and they might get back to work. Well, there's two reasons why. There's people basically, the inflation's too high. The doctor said one reason is because half the stuff that's brought in is all sold out. Aisles are stripped clean. Why? Because there's not enough workers to balance out the food shortage problem. If farmers could turn around and basically in this state and basically offset the price of the produce and fruits by sending us a little higher price for fruits, it's fine. I mean, I even asked Chloe the other day, last time you were at the store, how much are apples going for? Usually, have you ever noticed that apples are more money in this store? I mean, I remember once a funny story. One time I walked into a Safeway, right? You guys are like, oh yeah, Safeway, big deal. This was a special Safeway. This was in Paran Safeway. And next to the Safeway was all these medical clinics. And this was in Australia. So I went in there one day because I wanted oranges, right? And the waifu at the time, she's like, we're not paying $1.49 a kilo, right? So I walked up and I said, okay, I'll just get some basic oranges, right? Wifey was good to me. So I grabbed several bags of oranges, walked up, and they have those little sticker things. So I stuck it there and I said, there you go. Well, I told you we're not buying $1.49 a kilo for oranges. So I walked out and I said, you're going to be mad at me? And she says, yes, I'm mad at you. I said, look at the receipt. She looked down at it, 29 cents a kilo. She says, where'd you find that at, honey? Simple. Australian oranges are $1.49 a kilo. Florida oranges made in Florida, USA is approximately 29 cents a kilo. See where I'm going with this? It's economy. I mean, even in your own country, you're paying more. So think of it. If you go and you basically go and you get a lamb, Chloe knows this. If you go and get a lamb from the farmer here on the island, they charge you more money for the lamb here because it's domestic and they're 18 months out. So by the time you get it, most of your lamb's probably fat and porgy anyways because the lamb is too fat, right? Because, they got an 18 to 24 month for the slaughter. So what do? You go and you want lamb, you go and get a nice organic lamb, say through Safeway, and it might be like $4.99 on sale. So you buy like an 8-pound leg. It's like $32 for Australian or New Zealand lamb. Whereas over here, a leg of lamb might be $150. You see where I'm going? So basically, you got to look at the big picture. But the thing is the price keeps going through the roof. Why? Because everyone wants to basically stockpile. And prices are going through the roof. And on another thing, you get these people that are bitching, right? Oh, well, I was going to go get me some beef this week, but it's so expensive. So then they go and they look at beans, right? Actual beans, canned beans. Well, a case of beans is $50. Well, your steak's $50, your beans are $50. Make a decision. You get 12 meals or you get one meal. You see? Another kicker in the pantser is on top of beans, you have other things. Canned meats. Today, canned meats went up $20 to $40 additional per case. You got to ask yourself, who's doing this? It's people that are basically sucking up everything. No, we're going to have a collapse of the country. You got to prepare. Maybe. But everyone I talk to says differently. They're putting too much fear in the country. And as the doctor said, they're living off of your views and viewships. Think about it. Just think about it. I'm not going to basically argue with you guys, okay? In the meantime, as you know, I got to use the toilet and then I got to get some more coffee and then I got to get to my game. So please, everyone, and subscribe, post comments, leave feedback, suggestion, hit the like and subscribe button. Hold some fun even for your family, including your dogs, cats, or bunnies. Your service dogs, your service bunny. Hit the bell notification for new content every day. And leave the comments nice as all we ask. Thank you so much, and God bless you in everything you do.